Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our session, our second session of the day. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes to let a few more people in, and then we'll do some housekeeping and get started.
I don't want to be up there. I don't want to be on that.
Welcome, everyone. And more people are joining us. I think they're still coming over from the keynote speakers. We'll give them a couple more minutes to join us. Thank you for your patience while they're joining us. All right, we still have some stragglers coming in, so I'm admitting them all. But we will let's start to get started with some, just with some housekeeping items. Welcome to the 2026 UC Riverside Staff Conference, hosted by UCR Staff Assembly, Employee and Organizational Development, or EOD, and Leaders of Excellence and Distinction, or LEAD. We're so thrilled to have you join us today. My name is Nancy Kane. I am the Admin Officer of Harvest in CNAS, and I'll be taking care of some housekeeping items before introducing our speaker. Let me admit some more people. Okay. Just a few helpful notes. Each session is being recorded and will be available via Zoom Events website. Registered conference participants will be able to access the recorded sessions for 90 days after the conference. If you'd like to use closed captions for this session, please click on the Show Closed Caption button in the bottom of your screen. And while we can use the chat to interact, please submit your questions using the Q&A feature, not the chat. This allows other folks to vote for questions they'd like to have answered, and it kind of weeds it all. Let me see, people are still joining us. It's my understanding that the keynote speaker went over a little bit, so I think they're still straggling in and coming from that. So I'll continue to let those people in. Let's see, okay. All right, so let's get started with our session. Let me find my link here that I'll put into our chat. Oops, what happened to my chat? There it is. Okay. As always, please be mindful of UCR's principle of community. I've added the link to the chat for the full lineup of it, but to summarize, the University of California, Riverside is committed to equitable treatment of all students, faculty, and staff. UCR's faculty and staff and students are committed to creating an environment in which each person has the opportunity to grow and develop and is recognized for their contribution. For more on that, like I said, I dropped the link in the chat. So let me add a couple more people here and introduce Shane. After learning of my own working genius, I'm excited to be here to introduce Shane O'Brien. He is a high-impact facilitator specializing in the intersection of business strategy and team performance. Holding both an MBA and an MBM, Shane translates complex operational frameworks into actionable leadership training with a career built on leading large-scale organizational transformations. He excels at guiding teams through change and optimizing operational workflows. Shane is dedicated to practical leadership, providing professionals with tools to bridge the gap between high-level vision and daily execution. Shane, welcome. And as a reminder, if you haven't already, please mute your mics, and maybe later we'll have some time for questions and then we can change that. Thanks so much. Welcome, Shane.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Now I have to keep up with that astounding introduction. It's quite high standards there, so now I got to keep up with it. But good morning. So today we're going to explore a framework that has the potential to completely change how you experience your work. So we'll be looking at Patrick Lencioni's 6 types of working genius today, a practical tool for understanding where your natural energy and strengths lie, and how to leverage them so you can move from feeling drained to adrenaline driven. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we dive in, let me tell you a little bit about the mind behind this framework. So Patrick Lencioni, he is a best-selling author and leadership consultant who has spent decades helping organizations build healthier, more effective teams. His book, The 6 Types of Working Genius, which you can see on the right side, that's the cover of the book, grew out of his own personal experience of feeling drained at work, even when he was successful. So what makes his framework or this framework different from something like Myers-Briggs or DISC is that it's not about your personality. It's about how you work. So what energizes you, what drains you, and where you naturally contribute best. That's a critical distinction. So I always tell everybody this is pretty much a 20% personality assessment and 80% productivity tool. So you might know some of his other work, like the 5 dysfunctions of a team. That's one of his other great stuff that a lot of people know about. So let's go ahead and dive into it further. So to understand working genius, we first need to understand how all work gets done, right? So every project, whether it's a small task or a major initiative, moves through 3 distinct stages. So first, we have ideation, which is on the left there. This is where we ask, what's the opportunity we're looking for, right? And explore possibilities. Second is the middle one, activation. This is where we ask, how do we get going? And turns ideas into plans. And third is implementation on the right. This is where we ask, how do we finish strong and execute? So here's the key insight. Not everyone is naturally wired for every stage. So some people thrive in ideation, but struggle with execution. Others, the opposite. So understanding these stages helps us see where our genius fits best. And what I like to point out too is that a lot of organizations, they usually focus on going from ideation to implementation. It's kind of like how we're trained and wired. But a lot of folks miss that activation piece in the middle. And that's where you get the buy-in piece. A lot of people are like, let's have an idea, let's execute idea. But they have to get all the pieces in between as well, getting people on board, the right people in the conversation, which I'll talk more about later as well. So all those moving pieces. So now let's meet the 6 types. So in the ideation stage, we have wonder, which is the genius of asking the big questions. and identifying where change is needed. And invention, the genius of creating original solutions and ideas. So that wonder and invention is for ideation. In the activation stage, we have discernment, the ability to evaluate ideas and sense what will work, and galvanizing, the genius of rallying people and generating enthusiasm for action. And then the implementation stage, we have enablement, the genius of supporting and empowering others to move forward, and tenacity, the drive to push through to completion and get results. So getting stuff done. So each of us has two of these as our natural genius. The question is, which two are yours? We're going to talk a little more about that in a bit. So within the 6 types, there's another useful distinction. 3 of the geniuses are responsive: wonder, discernment, and enablement. These individuals work best when they're reacting and refining what's already in motion. So they identify needs, evaluate ideas, and support others. The other 3 are disruptive. So they got invention, got galvanizing, and tenacity. These individuals are catalysts. So they generate new ideas, rally people to action, and push things through to completion. So neither group is better than the other. In fact, healthy teams need both. So the problem occurs when someone is placed in a role that doesn't match their natural orientation. So disruptive genius stuck in a purely supportive role, or vice versa, is a recipe for frustration and burnout. So if we really want a snapshot of what responsive geniuses look like and what they're focused on, wonder, discernment, enablement, the responsive geniuses, they react to existing situations or external stimuli, which are current realities. So where are the gaps right now? That's what they tend to react to. While disruptive geniuses, invention, galvanizing, and tenacity, they are the ones that initiate change, provoke new ideas or actions. So you usually see those folks as challenging norms or pushing boundaries. So that's how you can kind of see the difference in your workplace. Here's another dimension of the framework that I find really powerful as well: altitude. Patrick Lencioni talks a lot about this. Think of it like this. Wonder operates at 30,000 feet. So like big picture, right? Big picture, visionary thinking. And then when the next level down is invention, comes in at 25,000 feet. They usually generate creative solutions to whatever the gaps, the issues are. And then next one down is discernment at 20,000 feet. They evaluate and refine things. That's what they're focused on. Galvanizing comes at 15,000 feet. They're the mobilizing people folks. So they like to get people in, buy in, like, hey, let's do this, let's support this, kind of like the cheerleaders in the sets. Then we have enablement at 10,000 feet. They provide support and resources. Tenacity is at 5,000 feet to the ground. So 0 feet, right? Executing, finishing, getting a job done, taking the project over the finish line. Those are the ones you need at the end. So the practical takeaway here is for meetings, make sure you have the right people in the room for the right altitude. So if you're in an early ideation, you need your wonder and invention people. If you're like, I need some ideas on like how to solve some issue, etc., those are the folks you want in the room. If you're in execution mode, you need your tenacity enablement people. So mixing altitudes without intention is one of the biggest causes of unproductive meetings, which we'll talk more about later and how to put together the folks to help push you through on your projects. So now let's talk about understanding your profile. So once you figure out what your working geniuses are, et cetera, your working genius profile is made up of 3 layers. You have 2 geniuses: the work that energizes you, that you do naturally and joyfully. You have 2 competencies in the middle zone: work you're capable of doing and can do well, but that doesn't fill your tank. So you can do it for a while, it'll eventually lead to burnout, but you could do those. It doesn't give you energy, but it doesn't take it away either. And you have 2 frustrations: work that drains you, that you dread, and that leads to burnout when you're stuck doing it too long. So here's what's important. Most of us spend a significant portion of our time in our competencies and frustrations, not our geniuses. That's why so many people feel drained even when they're technically good at their job. So the assessment helps you identify exactly where you fall and gives you the language to start having better conversations about your work. So as far as the cost of misalignment, So let's talk about what happens when people are consistently working outside their geniuses. So the costs are real and they show up in four key ways. So we got burnout and exhaustion from constantly fighting against your natural wiring. We got reduced productivity and engagement as work starts to feel like a chore. And then you have team dysfunction and conflict when misaligned roles create friction, and lost potential when talented people.
Dana, I'm sorry, I accidentally muted you. You can unmute yourself.
We're
Thank
good to
you.
go? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, no worries. So let's talk about what happens when people are constantly working outside their genius, right? So we got these four areas. We have the burnout, exhaustion from constantly fighting against your natural wiring. We got reduced productivity engagement as work starts to feel like a chore. We got team dysfunction and conflict when misaligned roles create friction, and lost potential and talent people never get to do what they're actually best at. So here's the thing. Most organizations don't realize this is happening because the person is still showing up and getting things done, but they're running on empty. So the good news is that once you identify the misalignment, you can fix it. And even small adjustments can have a dramatic impact on energy, engagement, and results. So now I got a little activity for you guys. So, all right, let's do a quick activity before we go further. This is called the burnout barometer activity, and it's going to give you a personal snapshot of where you are right now to kind of give you a feel if you're in the burnout stage or not. So here's how it works. I'm going to reveal 6 symptoms of burnout one at a time for each symptom. You'll give yourself a score from 0 to 7. 0 means you haven't experienced that symptom at all this week. 7 means you felt it every single day. And be honest with yourself, there are no wrong answers, and no one else needs to see your score. So at the end, you'll add up your total and we'll reveal what your score means. So go ahead and grab something to write with, pen, pencil, paper, or if you want to take notes on your phone or on your laptop, etc., go ahead and do that. But let's go ahead and dive into this. So symptom number 1, brain fog. So you know that feeling. You're sitting at your desk, staring at your screen, but nothing is clicking. You read the same email 3 times and still can't process it. We've all been there, right? Your thoughts feel slow, scattered. So now go ahead and rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you felt sharp and focused all week. 7 means you felt mentally foggy every single day. So go ahead, take a moment, think about your week, and write down your number. I'll give you guys a few seconds for this. And don't think too hard about it. First thing that comes to mind. All right, that's the first one. So symptom number 2, exhaustion. And I'm not talking about being tired after a long day. That's normal, right? So I'm talking about that deep bone level fatigue that doesn't go away. And even after a full night's sleep or a weekend off. So it's almost like you got the Sunday blues, right? On Sunday, you're like, I want to go to work on Monday, right? That's what we're talking about here. You wake up already tired. So rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you felt energy all week. 7 means you felt drained and exhausted every single day. Go ahead and write down your number. Give you guys a little bit of time. All right, that's symptom number 2. Symptom number 3, so slow decision making. This is when even simple choices feel overwhelming. Should I respond to this email now or later? What should I prioritize today? Do I go to this meeting or skip it? Decisions that used to be automatic now feel like they require enormous mental effort. So go ahead and rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you felt decisive and clear all week. 7 means you felt stuck and indecisive every single day. Go ahead and write down your number. Give you guys 2 seconds. All right, that's symptom number 3. All right, symptom number 4, irritability. Little things that normally wouldn't bother you suddenly feel infuriating. Coworkers comment. A slow computer could be a meeting that runs 5 minutes over. Things that used to roll off your back now get under your skin. You might even feel guilty about it afterwards, which adds another layer of stress. So go ahead and rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you felt calm and patient all week. 7 means you were on edge or easily irritated every single day. Go ahead and write down your number. Just staring at the image stresses me out. All right, so that's symptom number 4. Now we're going to look at symptom number 5. So procrastination. And I want to be clear here. This isn't laziness. This is avoidance driven by overwhelm or dread. You know exactly what needs to get done. You might even have it written on your to-do list, but you just can't bring yourself to start. So you reorganize your desk, you check your email again, or find something else to do instead. We've all been there. I've done it. So go ahead and rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you stayed on track and got things done all week. And 7 means you put things off every single day. Go ahead and write your number. Give you guys a few seconds. All right, that's symptom number 5. All right, and our final symptom, number 6, low motivation. That feeling where you just can't find your why anymore. Work that used to excite you now feels like a chore. You show up, you go through the motions, 9 to 5, right? Clock in, clock out, but there's no spark. You're not sure what you're working toward or why it even matters anymore. So rate this from 0 to 7. 0 means you felt driven and energized all week. 7 means you struggled to find that motivation every single day. So go ahead and write down your number. Remember, this is the last one. Make a count. Give you guys a few seconds on this. And once you're done with that, go ahead and add up all 6 scores. We're about to find out what your total means in the next few slides. So I'll give everybody a few more seconds so they can add up everything. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the next. All right, let's talk about what the scores mean. So if your total score is between 0 and 10, congratulations. You're in the genius zone. That's where we all want to be, right? This means most of your work right now is aligned with your natural strengths. You're energized, you're engaged, and operating at your best. That's exactly where we want everyone to be. If this is you, today's session will help you understand why you feel this way and give you the language to protect and sustain it. Because genius zones can shift if we're not intentional. So we always have to stay on top of them. So a score of 11 to 20 puts you in the drain zone. There's mild misalignment happening. Something is pulling energy away from you. You're still functioning. You're still getting things done, but you're not thriving. You might feel like you're running at 70% when you know you're capable of more. The good news is this is very fixable. So small, intentional adjustments to how you spend your time and energy can make a significant difference. So today's session is going to give you the tools to start making those shifts, which we'll talk about in a bit. A score of 21 to 30 places you in the frustrated zone. So there's too much frustration, not enough flow in your work right now. You may feel like you're constantly pushing uphill, maybe working hard, but not feeling fulfilled or recognized for your real strengths. This is a clear signal that there's a meaningful gap between what you're being asked to do and what you're naturally wired to do. If this is you, I want you to know you're not alone, and this is not permanent either. The Work in Genius framework was literally designed to help people in this zone find their way back to work that energizes them. The final one, score of 31 to 42, places you in the burnout zone. Most of your week is being spent outside your genius. If this is you, I want you to hear this clearly. This is not a character flaw. This is not a sign that you're weak or not cut out for your job. This is a misalignment problem, not a you problem. So burnout at this level is serious, and it's a signal that something needs to change. The fact that you're here today, investing in your own development through the conference, etc., is already a step in the right direction. We're going to spend the rest of our time together talking about how exactly how to start shifting out of this zone. Hopefully I found that little activity. So now we're going to talk about that transformation piece, right? Going from drain to driven. What does that look like, right? That's the title of the presentation today. So what does the transformation actually look like? When individuals and teams align their work with their natural genius, 5 things happen. 1, energy and engagement go up. People feel revitalized and passionate about their work again. Productivity and quality improve because people are doing what they're naturally best at. Team collaboration gets stronger because everyone understands each other's strengths and can work together more intentionally. People find greater fulfillment and purpose. Work becomes meaningful, not just a paycheck. And organizations see reduced turnover because people are energized and fulfilled and don't leave. They're having a good time, right? I'm not gonna leave them. Got my friends here, right? I'm having a good time. The journey from drain to driven starts with one thing: understanding yourself, the awareness piece, right? Knowing how you work, how you're wired. So how does this look as far as practical steps, right? How do you go into that work in Genius and use it? So how do you actually put this into practice? Step 1, take the official work in Genius assessment. Take the official, yeah. So it takes about 10 minutes or so. It's one of the best investments you can make in your career. Like I said, 10 minutes, pretty fast for assessment. So you can literally do the assessment and then right after that, start applying it to your teams. I've seen it done. It's amazing what you see as far as the results. Step 2, study your profile. Understand what your 2 geniuses, 2 competencies, and 2 frustrations mean for your day-to-day work. Step 3, communicate your results. Share them with your manager and your team. This opens the door to better conversations about task allocation and role design. Step 4, look for opportunities to redesign your role. Even small shifts can have a big impact. So it doesn't mean you have to totally revamp your role, but if there's little things you can do here and there just to change a little bit to make you get into where you're getting energy, that's what you're looking for. And step 5, help others do the same. When your whole team understands each other's geniuses, collaboration becomes effortless, right? Everybody's on the same page, even helps with the communication styles. I've seen it in my own team. We're like, okay, I know this is your working genius. I need this. Can you help me with this? Like as far as like Wonder, Invention, all the other ones, right? My team has that all across the board. So you can create a team profile or team map is what they call it in Working Genius, where it shows you where everybody's working geniuses are, frustrations and competencies. So you can kind of mix and match and readjust if you're doing a project or something, how realign that with the folks on your team. So in step 6, keep checking in. That's the final one. This isn't a one-time exercise. It's an ongoing practice. It takes time, right? So it's not like, oh, bam, you're going to change everything. Everything's going to be great moving forward once you got this. It's going to take time. It's going to figure out how the awareness piece of yourself, figuring out what works, what doesn't work for you, but also figuring out how to adjust in your work life or personal life. I've used this outside with my family, et cetera. And it's really changed a lot and helped create a lot of understandings of why certain things happen, et cetera. So we can lean on each other better and work as a team. So now let's talk about some real case studies. Where has Working Genius been used in the real world, right? So let's look at this framework and how it looks like in the real world. In our first example, case study number 1, a university vice president for advancement found that her leadership team's meetings were constantly bogged down by indecision. After using the Working Genius assessment to realign roles to individual strengths, they saw faster, more decisive meetings almost immediately. And the second one, case study number 2, K2 and Company, it's a communications consultancy, used the framework to address collaboration challenges. The shared language it provided transformed how partners and team members work together, leading to better client outcomes. And in the third example, case study number 3, organizations that redistributed tasks away from employees' frustration zones saw significant reductions in burnout. So this is all backed by McKinsey research showing that people working in their flow state can be up to 500% more productive. These aren't hypothetical benefits, they're real results from real teams. So this gives you 3 snapshots of how you've seen like Working Genius in the real world being applied. It's really neat. So as far as key takeaways, let me leave you with 6 key takeaways. So 1, Working Genius is about productivity, not personality. So it tells you how you work best, not who you are. So like I mentioned earlier, it's a 20% personality assessment and 80% productivity tool. So it's all about mainly productivity, figuring out how you're wired and putting that to action, which really makes us different from all the other models. 2, everyone has unique strengths and frustrations, and both matter. 3, alignment drives results. When your work matches your genius, your energy and output go up. 4, teams that understand each other's geniuses collaborate more effectively and get more done. As an example, I kind of talked about it earlier. It can be used to have more productive meetings or constructive by having the right people in the room for productive discussions, right? So a lot of times I've seen it happen where if you have Invention Wonder, which is myself, in a meeting and you're trying to get stuff done, sometimes that can be difficult for the team because I'm constantly thinking like, here's an idea. What about this? What about this? The team's trying to land the plane, right? With all the altitude metaphor I used earlier. They're trying to land it and I'm trying to bring everybody back up to that 30,000 feet. Like, here's another idea, guys. So it's almost like you go in the state of turbulence, right? Everybody's getting thrown everywhere. It ruins the flow of everything and everything slows down, right? So kind of focusing on those, having the right people in the room, right? 5, big impact can come from small changes. You don't need to overhaul your entire role to start feeling the difference. Like I mentioned a few slides ago, it could be small things. It could be just maybe working with somebody else to work on a certain part of a project that they're more in tune with, right? And you can focus on their aspects, kind of realign that area. And 6, this is a journey from drain to driven. And it starts with awareness. You now have that awareness. The question is, what will you do with it? I'm going to leave you with that question. And thank you all so much for your time and engagement today. This is just a little snippet. If you want more, you can always reach out. We do offer Working Genius, which is way more in depth than what I talked about today. And isn't just a framework for the workplace either. It's a framework for building a work life that energizes rather than drains you. I encourage you to take the assessment, share results with your team, and start having intentional conversations about how you can all work in your genius more often. Of course, if you have questions, want to explore this further, or are interested in bringing this Working Genius workshop to your department, you can always reach out to me. I have my email up there. We will be doing a raffle for discounted pricing and choose 10 or so UCR employees only. Just FYI, we're going to be doing that raffle thing. We will reach out to you when that does happen. Also, you can see our website, the EOD website there. I have the QR code there. That'll show you kind of what we're up to. It has our course catalog if you're interested in other things that we provide as well, but Working Genius is on there. Or you can always just email me. Thank you again, and go ahead and find your genius, guys. And that's it for me today. And then I can provide the link to the EOD website just in case. I'll put that in the chat for you guys.
Thank you, Shane. We do have a couple of questions. Jenna, do you have some of them, or do you want me to toss them out there?
I see that they're all on the chat. I think everyone's looking for the assessment link.
I saw a couple in the Q&A. One was, is 42 the highest score? What if you got higher?
42 should be the highest because 7 times 6 is 42.
The math.
So we got higher now. I don't know. You might want to use a calculator. I'm sorry, guys. But yeah, you could just recount it again. 42 should be the highest. If it goes past that, I mean, obviously that's a burnout zone. So either way, it's not good. So you can probably reassess from there. But yeah, if it's 42 or higher, it's definitely a burnout zone. So definitely something needs to change. Yeah. I see, do I win something? I see that in here from Lisa. So the raffle thing is going to be either free or we're going to have discounted pricing for the assessments for you guys.
And I do agree. I think that the big question was, will use? Well, I guess one is, will UCR be providing the assessment? And I believe that they don't. That you need to speak with like a supervisor, or you're going to provide the link.
Yeah, so if
maybe-
you are at UCR, you can always just reach out to me. We offer, I mean, you'll see it in the UCLC as well. That's only at UCR. If you are at another UC, I'm not sure who does it at the other UCs, but you can always reach out to us and we will work and figure something out. We can either do it virtually, etc. But you can always reach out to me and we'll figure something out for you guys if you're not at UCR. As far as access and the assessment, we provide that to you guys. So once you guys reach out to us and we figure everything out, we provide you a link to go in and do the assessment. I'm just kind of going through the chat real quick.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks, Nicole. Every department should take this. You see it? Yes. The assessment tool. I don't have that offhand. But if you email me, I can send you all the links too. So if you're interested in, like, you can either Google it or go ahead and just email me and I'll send you the link to all that stuff too. Yes, my coworker is chiming in. We do have an upcoming session. So if you are here, you're interested, she gave you the notes on how to get to that. It's in the UCLC. Just look up Work in Genius and you'll see the dates for it. Yeah, I'll type it here. Just type in 6 types of working. That's what you want to search in Google. If you want to dive into more like background stuff, that's where you can go. Yes. Thank you, Jennifer. She put the link.
Well, if there are no more questions, we get back the gift of time, right?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so while we're wrapping up here, feel free to continue to add questions, but I'll go ahead and give you we hope you enjoyed your time with us today. As you know, our goal is to keep the UCR Staff Conference 100% free to attend. We couldn't do that without generous support of our sponsors, UC Riverside Staff Assembly, LEAD, UCR Human Resources, Employee and Organizational Development, and Schools First Credit Union. As a reminder, the sessions recorded will be reviewable through Zoom event website for 90 days. Quick reminders, and I'll add these also in the chat so that you can see them. Copy paste. There we go. Our in-person closing session takes place on Wednesday, that's tomorrow at 2 p.m. These RSVP on the conference website if you've not already by going to the Sessions tab and clicking Reserve a Spot next to the closing ceremony. This is open to UCR staff only as it is in person. Nominations for the next year's LEAD board will be opening soon. Be one of the first to be notified. Sign up for your listserv to get an alert as soon as the form is available. And that link is in the chat there. Staff Assembly Board nominations are currently open. Elections will be open from April 20th to the 24th. More information, again, link is in the chat. And then sign up for UCR EOD listserv. Again, in the chat. Did I catch all of the questions? Did we see any more?
I like the one comment. 6 and 7 would be the kids would definitely vote for that. I laughed. I was like, yeah, I totally understand. That's true.
That was a funny one, yes. Well, all right, great. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Like I said, this will be, if you didn't catch all of it or you just want to review it again, it will be recorded and posted. So you'll be able to rewatch and make sure to catch more sessions later today. Thank you so much, everyone.
Everyone.